Greetings. My name is Michelle Dutton, and I'm a proud member of the Central Jersey chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Incorporated, located here in New Jersey. And I'm also a proud member of First Baptist Church of Lincoln Garden in Somerset, New Jersey. I am delighted to be able to host this panel today. And although I will be sharing some of the information about my personal experiences with dfree in relationship with Delta and First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens, I am not speaking on behalf of either organization. Thank you. Let's get started. I am so excited to be a part of this panel with our two esteemed guests to talk about our favorite topic, dfree, and transforming our communities so that we can do better, because we all know when we know better, we do better. So before we jump in, I would like to present to some and introduce to others Dorothea Bernique with the Increasing Hope Financial Training Center, where she serves as the executive director. Dorothea, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much, Michelle. My name is Dorothea, and I am the founder and the director of Increasing Hope Financial Training Center. We're located in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, and the organization is about 18 years old. And we have been serving the community by delivering financial education, budgeting, money management, credit, housing counseling. We have an umbrella of services that impact the economic development of our community. And so it's just always good to be here and enjoy and appreciate our partnership with dfree.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for participating today. Next, I would like to introduce Dallas Lenear with Project Green, where he serves as the executive director. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Yes, thank you, Michelle, and good to be with you both. And like Dorothea, I'm also the founder and executive director of Project Green, where the Green stands for the Grassroots Economic Empowerment Network. We're based here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and our vision is turning everyday people into money heroes. So we define a money hero as someone who is pursuing their own financial goals, and then they turn and help someone else to do the same. We do that through two ways. Primarily, one is through financial capabilities, where we are consumer facing with our workshops around budgeting, credit building, saving. That's where dfree fits in. We'll talk more about that. And then we also do it with our economic advocacy work, which is systems facing, where we're trying to remove those barriers that keep low to moderate income people from reaching their goals. And a lot of our work really started with advocacy, particularly as we were fighting against payday lending here in the state of Michigan. So that's the genesis of our work. Still, everything that we do in one way or another is leading people away from asset reducing products and services like payday lending towards asset building behaviors, products, services, and policies here in the state of Michigan.
Excellent. Both of you have tremendous backgrounds, and I can see the connection for dfree. And just a little bit about me. My name is Michelle Dutton. I'm facilitating our conversation today, and I have a huge background with dfree. For the past 10 years or so, Delta Sigma Theta has been one of the strategic partners of dfree, with making sure that we work collectively to transform the communities. We've reduced more than $11 million in debt over that period. We have engaged 15,000 or more people within the sorority in the community to not only reduce debt, but we've also saved tens of thousands of dollars in savings as well, because we want to make sure in our communities, we're not only reducing debt, but we're increasing wealth. And so we're very excited about that partnership. But my relationship with dfree really started when I was the ministry leader of dfree for First Baptist Church of Lincoln Gardens, where Dr. Soaries launched the initiative, and we started to put process and programming around it so it could grow organically, like you see it doing today, so that we could reach our community, transform, and really inspire people not to just be debt-free, but really bring the whole community forward to being financially well. So why don't we jump right in and just start with, how did you even get introduced to this wonderful organic movement, dfree, and what's happening with it in your organizations?
I was initially introduced to Dr. Soares and dfree through my affiliation with an organization called Home Free USA, which is a group of nonprofit organizations and community-based organizations that provide housing counseling and multiple services. And so Dr. Soares conducted a conference call with the affiliation of organizations and just offered to become a part of the work that we were doing to see how we could introduce dfree. I told someone I had to get up the nerves to pick up the phone and call, but it was one of the most powerful, one of the most rewarding things that I did in reference to being embraced by dfree and to bring it to both my organization and the community here in Charleston, South Carolina. So that was the way that we were initially introduced, and it has been just a great relationship.
Nice, nice. And what about you, Dallas?
Yes, so originally sitting at home one day watching CNN, and I saw this commercial come on for a special that Soledad O'Brien was doing, a series called Black in America, and there was an episode called Almighty Debt. And this has long been personal finance has long been a passion of mine. I'm a former banker, and as a pastor, I've made personal finance a priority in my ministry. And so to see this other Black pastor who was doing wonderful things within his own congregation, and now, expanding that to a national platform, it immediately grabbed my attention. A few months later, after seeing him on CNN, he was here in town. I got to go hear him preach in the chapel, and then got to meet him. And it's been history since then. He can't get rid of me.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And I love the idea of pastors helping pastors and joining together to really help move the community forward. So although dfree, is really big in the churches, as we know, we've brought it into the community space as well. So I'm just curious, for your organizations, how did you get started and how did you get it implemented? And what are you doing now?
Okay. Well, we got started by I think we came in when it was fairly new. And so we actually had the dfree team come in and they supported us by doing facilitation training. Dr. Soares actually came, introduced dfree to the local community and pastors. We started that with the luncheon. And as far as the organization is concerned, we began to use the dfree curriculum as our financial capacity building curriculum. It went alongside some of the work that we were already doing in reference to our money mindset, the behavior, our attitude about money. And so it was a perfect fit for the approach that we were already taking as an organization. It is a program that is flexible enough to fit it into the way that we work, because we knew immediately when I met Janiyah, I said, we cannot do 12 weeks, Janiyah. We will not hold our community. And so we had the ability to flex it and customize it. So we offer a 6-week course. As a community-based organization, having the services in place that we did, we were able now to come along beside our participants and say, not only is this what you need to do, but then my staff and team, we're able to say, this is how you do it, because then we can sit down and work with them individually on a budget with our budget counselors. We can sit down and work with them on their credit as a licensed credit counseling agency. We can sit down and work with them on becoming first-time homeowners as a HUD housing counseling agency, and on and on and on, from the standpoint of any obstacles that they might face. Foreclosure, we're foreclosure counselors. If you want to start a business to build your wealth, we do small business training. If you need help doing your personal taxes, we are a VITA site. And so it was a great partnership from the standpoint of, this is the information, the impartation that you're getting. Again, transformational information, not to change their lives, but many times people are still asking, well, how do I do it? And so increasing hope, and that's an acronym for helping others prosper economically. We say, we will come along beside you and walk you through whatever your journey is, using the tool of the $1 billion pay down, also using now the techniques and the foundation and the strategies of dfree, helping you change your behavior, your mindset, your attitude about even embracing this journey. That's what I love about it. Many times we can't get individuals to even embrace the journey until we change the attitude and the mindset. it makes it so much easier. And so dfree introduces that for us. And so when we sit down with them and say, now it's time to do your budget, and you need to choose between your wants and your needs, they understand the need to choose between their wants and their needs, because now we have them on this journey of dfree, and we have we get them all hyped up. They're hyped up. By the time we get done with them, they are ready. They are chanting the dfree slogan, and now they're ready to make those changes. They're ready to engage and embark on this journey for financial freedom. And then we end with what we call a Super Saturday. I think I introduced that, and so we finish out the remaining 6 chapters on a Saturday with an intensive study of those, and the graduation where they receive their certificates. But the other things that we've also done is introduced it. We're in the process of introducing dfree to our school system, our prison system. And so we're right now at next level and hoping to get some real good leverage and coverage in that particular way as far as introducing dfree to our state as a whole.
Excellent, excellent. I love that. Very engaging. Dallas, what about you and Project Green?
I'm stuck on what Dorothea said. Now I'm excited about what they're doing. I want to learn more. So the Project Green, as I said, part of our work is around financial capabilities. We've been doing this work in various iterations since 2011, but 2019, we officially became a 501c3. We developed our own curriculum for the basics of personal finance, called the Money Talk Workshop. And we were incorporating some of the content from the dfree book into our own curriculum. As a staff, we all read dfree as a professional development tool for us. I've been attending the conferences every year, so it's been a part of our culture in one way or another. But then, especially coming out of COVID, we were planning to transition our curriculum to an online, or at least developing an online platform to go alongside of what we were doing in person. So as we were starting that from scratch ourselves, we said, wait a minute, we know dfree, and we know that dfree already has an online portal. So why would we start from scratch? Why don't we have a conversation to see if we can partner and offer dfree to all of our constituents, but particularly making it available online. Similar to Increasing Hope, with our community partners, so other nonprofit organizations, or even as we engage with individuals, we knew likewise that 12 weeks was going to be a heavy lift. And so we have actually reduced it to a 4-week session for those partners. We are in the process now of bringing facilitators online within churches, and also connecting people to our Project Green dfree portal so that they can take the classes or individually within the portal as well. And then we also have some scaling plans. So we've been working with some funders recently who are now providing additional support so that we can scale dfree at a much larger level. So we are going to be hiring and training some facilitators who will help us to reach, we want to get to 600 people in the next 12 months, and then eventually want to get 1,200 people a year going through dfree.
Wow, that is awesome. That is really awesome. And what I really like about what both of you talked about is the fact that dfree is able to be customized to meet your needs, because when you think about it, we're reaching a broad audience, and the goal is to meet people where they are and help them move forward to accomplish the financial goals that the organization has. And so if the dfree curriculum isn't it and there's another, still be a part of the movement. Love that. I know within Delta, we service more than 1,000 chapters internationally, not even just here in America. And so we have to be flexible to have that implementation. And I find that, and you can let me know if you find the same thing, that the curriculum is easy to be customized. And now that dfree has done the work to automate it, you can really lead classes without having a large organization, because you can direct people to go online, and then they can go through the curriculum on their own. And then you can create community events just to do a check-in, whether it's, and I encourage chapters to do this all the time, whether it's, just once or twice in the year or once a month, whatever your resources have or will afford you to do, then you can find that place in dfree.
I wanted to go back to the $1 billion challenge, as you mentioned, Michelle. That's another way that we are capitalizing on dfree. We have a program that we use. It's a savings match program. It's called 500 Strong. So our goal is each year to find 500 people to help them to save $500. And they save $400 of their own, and then we match it with $100. So in the past, we've had people tracking their own savings in various ways. $1 billion challenge allows us to do that in a centralized format where they can see how they're tracking, and then we can also see it from an administrator side. So that's been very helpful as well.
That sounds great. That sounds great. And I know that both of you have shortened it. And believe it or not, I have taught several sessions where we went through the whole 12 weeks, and it was very difficult to keep people engaged. But I will say, to your point, Dorothea, the foundation is really in that first module, because self-awareness is so incredibly impactful. And so in the beginning, we did do more 12-week programs, and I would kind of take a break in the middle, and we would lose a good number of people. But once people got invested and started seeing results, like through the snowball method and the avalanche method, they really wanted to keep it going. But it is a challenge. So one of the things I like to do is make sure I connect people to the dfree site as well, so that they can start to join in with the events and join in with some of the other programming going on. So I'm just curious, because both of you have very successful programs, how do you keep people engaged moving forward? What are some of the things you do to keep people engaged once you get them started, so they can continue and then also reach out to the community and help this grow organically so that we can all move forward?
So, over the years and doing various workshops and having groups, what I've discovered is that a lot of the power comes from the community. The fact that people are doing this together, and then they build relationships together, they encourage one another, they hold each other accountable, just the energy, the synergy that they create by being together.
One of the things that we do is throughout the class, and especially before they leave, is encourage them to become accountability partners to one another. And so that is a way to keep it going. Also, one of the, a campaign or a process that we are in the process of implementing here is just creating a community of folks and an atmosphere where people feel the freedom to engage in this journey to financial freedom, and make it this place, this safe place, and this journey that we want to go on together. And then also have times that we report back. And so we get together our previous graduates and current graduates and celebrate them. So that component of dfree that talks about celebrating, it's like coming together to encourage one another. Even if you've made mistakes, fallen down, this is a place where you're going to be encouraged to get back up again. And or if you've had those successes, this is a place for you to share your success.
I love that. I love that. And I'm glad you mentioned the celebratory component of dfree. One of the things that we used to do is within the class, in that first week, I would ask everyone to write down where they thought they were going to be with regards to their finances, in a year, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And they would write a letter to themselves, and I would hold on to them and mail them a year later to try to get them to see kind of where they are now versus where they wanted to be. So there's so many ways to keep people engaged with dfree. And this work that we're doing is so critical to the just the core of who we are, since we were always taught that our finances were private in our business. And that's how we don't expand. That's how we don't become financially well, is by not engaging with one another. So as we get ready to wrap up, I want to hear from both of you on what would you say to other community organizations about, getting involved? And that could be your challenges, just encourage them.
Well, I would share, number one, highly, highly encourage it. It has been one of the most supportive, rewarding relationships. I'll call it a community relationship from the standpoint of being able to partner and understanding what a true partnership is, meaning dfree creates win-win situations. You know, it's benefiting dfree, but it also benefits us. And I'll also speak to what Pastor Lenear shared in reference to the level of support is just outstanding from the standpoint of the things that we would like to do, how we would like to see it, the recommendations that we suggest, including you in their processes of making decisions. Been on many panels and been many discussions in reference to how things are changing and given the opportunity to participate at various levels. And so I would definitely highly recommend and encourage you engaging in a relationship with dfree. I don't think you'll be disappointed in any way, shape, form, or fashion. They are there to support. They go out of the way actually to support the work that we are doing here in our local community. So
thank you for that. Dallas?
Yes, absolutely. I echo everything Dorothea just said, and would also say, you know, for us, I think all of us know that, you know, personal finance, the numbers differ, but some people would say it's 20% knowledge, 80% behavior. And it's also important that people have the right mindset about their money. And dfree really speaks to that. It speaks to the mindset. It speaks to the culture around money. And I believe that's one of the unique pieces that Dr. Sorority brings through dfree. And so, and then the other piece that I love is that it's a movement, right? It's the dfree financial freedom movement. So, you know, I feel like I'm very much a part of the movement that's happening nationally and even internationally. You know, I got the chance to go with dfree to Ghana in 2016, and just there are people around the world who are participating in dfree, and that's a part of the power behind it. Again, it's not just, you know, what we're doing here locally, but it's what's happening in New Jersey and North Carolina and Jamaica and everywhere else. And so I think that's, again, part of the power. The last thing I'll say is that, just as Dorothea talked about the importance of celebrating participants, you know, dfree celebrates its participating organizations as well. So having gone to conferences, just seeing, you know, the dfree Church of the Year and others who are celebrated for what they're doing. So you're very much a part of a movement at every level. And I'm excited, and, you know, we're actively trying to get other people here locally to participate. And I'd encourage any and everyone who is considering it to go for it.
Thank you. Thank you both for that. And I'll say I am with you. Like I said at the beginning, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated has enjoyed a 10-year relationship with dfree. And there is nothing that we have asked Dr. Sorority to do in the way of programming that he has not stepped up to commit. So he's very passionate about making sure he meets organizations, no matter how big or small, where they are, to help move their membership forward. And we are definitely transforming the lives of our members and our communities that we serve with this culture change. And Dallas, you said it, it's about a culture change so that we can think and just reframe how we think about money. So with that, I want to thank you both for your time, your authenticity, and just helping to spread the word about this important work in our communities when we need it most. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for everybody out there listening, come on and be a part of this movement, because you are missing out.